Good morning, y'all. Choya! Can I get a kachoya? Good morning, y'all. Previously on Kimba TV. You might be somebody that says, I'm going to try to blind limit short the 75786. Or you might be somebody that waits more for structure because you're going to trust the 7505 because you don't want to bother with dink, oh, I got stopped out. Maybe that's the risk reward isn't good enough for you. You know, so you might be somebody that wants to see this, then wants to see something like this. And then you're going to take it on here or you're going to take it on here, and that's your stop loss. Are you ready, Lions? The juice is the juice. Let's go. Get his goofy ass. Ka-chia! It's too easy. Let's go. Pixel perfect. Ka-chia! Let's get it. Let's get it. Atkins says, if we get the SFP failed auction on PDC we've been talking about all week today, would you just take it with a smaller position, Kimba? Well, do you remember the plan, Atkin? So first things first, right? Like every day you have an opportunity to kind of see for yourself where you're at, right? So if you're asking me what I'm going to do I like to get into a position regardless of if it's a long or a short on a Friday? That's the first question, right? Do I usually take longs or shorts on a Thursday or Friday? And do you remember what we've been talking about in terms of what we wanted to do on Thursday and Friday? So that's always going to be like the higher level concept that will rule over anything else. Alrighty. The second thing is next week is GDP and PCE. So on a week like that, especially on a week where the GDP and the PCE comes out the same day as a double header, what kind of confluence will I prioritize? So just think about those two things. Do I like to take a trade Thursday or Friday? And last but not least, next week is GDP and PCE, and it's also both of them come out on the same day. Usually GDP comes out on a Wednesday and the PCE comes out the next day. We have GDP and PCE on the same day next week on Wednesday. So what's the confluence that I would like going into next week? And do you guys remember what we confluenced 96 with in terms of S&P? So I feel like I'm ready for next week. What about you guys? Okay, we just had the first 30-minute candle close, Lions. Even this is kind of triggering. What does ETH BTC look like? So Cardano. Everything is flipping at the. This guy is below it. BNB is below it. Okay. Yep. Humid, you also asked, can you go over how you went long again yesterday? Sure. If you're talking about Bitcoin, I actually, we did the long live. If you want to go back and watch it. Yeah, and then like, are you talking about Sol? Sol, I gave you, I helped you so many times. So it's the same thing that we talked about, like this. See it? So right there. You know what I'm talking about, right? When it makes a higher high and it does a bullish retest, or it makes a lower low and it does a bearish retest at the golden pocket. Fibbo Jesus says questions about Sol invalidation. Is it ETH or RTH sweep? What do you mean? I don't think if you're talking to me about like Sol futures, I don't think that there's enough data here. Are you talking about a Sol RTH sweep? We can look. Yeah, Sol doesn't have data up here. This is Sol CME. There isn't. Fibba Jesus says, I mean pre-market candle. No, I think Sol can go a little bit higher. Sol should be able to go a little bit higher. Bitcoin too, you know that, right? Like, we want like 96.6 tapped as the high. Like something like this. 96,650. Sweep or keep. This is what I would call like a sweep or keep. Yeah, so Sol could go, I mean, Sol is, yeah, Sol could, like, everything has just a little bit more to go. Sol should have tapped that. Biddy should have tapped right here. Yeah, it would have been nicer if it went a little bit more. Same thing with Sol. Sol, I would want like like a 1.25 extension off of the bounce. So like 158.2. Something like that. Look at these lines. Come on. Let's go. Lock in. Math and data. Get hype. So if you're going to try this one, you have to try that one. You're doing the least probable one. Why wouldn't you do the most probable one? So yeah, and then the other thing too, brother, is you're not shorting after this. You know that, right? Would that be fair to say, brother? We're not shorting because look, where? After here, where are we shorting? After that, where are we shorting? Would that be fair to say, Humid? We're not. There's nowhere else that we could potentially short until 100. So even if you didn't want to take the initial swing fail, like you should have probably taken if you know, if it really is a swing fail, you can't lose the, okay? But with me telling you all of that and you still didn't want to take it, I think it just comes down to the fact that you're not that bearish. Clearly, my dumb ass is bearish, right? You know how many people have been talking shit like, haha, Kimba's shorting. We just had 2 people talking shit earlier in the morning, even though I got pixel perfect top. And I'm juicing and I can't lose. So, like, it's undeniable that, like, I'm bearish, right? Are you really bearish or are you not really bearish? Like, no one's, even if you fucking hate my guts, you would agree with me that I'm bearish. Like, that's straight cap if you're going to tell me that you don't believe that I've been bearish for the last 2 weeks. So this is like, are you really bearish? You got a swing fail on the last level where you could attempt to short. You know? So, again, I can't lose. I don't know if these hyenas really understand that even if I'm wrong on my short attempts, I'm not losing. But I'm just sticking to my plan. You like, for me, it's not really even about like swing fail or anything like that. Do you know how long have I been talking about I'm going to try to short 92, 92.5. And if that doesn't work, I'll see you guys at 96. And I'm going to try to short that next. And I was kind of, you know, heads upping you guys about, I don't think we're going to hit 96. I think front running 96 would be a little bit more realistic. And we had the naked point of control right there. And that's the last CME level where we would think about shorting. So I think it really just comes down to, are you really bearish? Maybe you were only shorting because I was shorting. I don't know. But if I'm bearish, why would I not short the last place where we would, you know, have an edge? Yeah, so it's okay. You know, but I'm just doing me. So it really starts with like, did you want to short? Like I have the sentiment score. I can see the chat history of everybody that's talking in YouTube, everybody that's in Twitch. I know who's bullish and who's not. You know? So like people can't help to say what they want to say. So like, I know who's bullish and who's not, you know, who's really bearish and who's not, who's really bullish and who's not. So at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong. You guys do what you think is right. But Humid Huff, it's easy for me because I'm doing everything that I prepared and talked about. And clearly I believe everything that I'm saying, right? Humid? If you aren't as bearish as me, then you're not going to take the shorts when the opportunity is there. I can tell you things like, I'm in it. I already took it. If it really is a swing fail, it shouldn't lose the blank. I've been trying shorts since 92.5. Right? So, yeah. So I think what it is I wouldn't beat yourself up just because you're not seeing it the same way as I am or somebody else. Who gives a fuck? That doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. Okay? So I want to make that really clear. If you can't see it the same way as somebody else, just because that person's trade is working out doesn't mean that you did something wrong. You should be very clear about that. Otherwise, you're going to beat yourself up for no fucking reason. Yeah, but anyways, Humid. So there, like, I think this could go at least to 90, if not 80. And there's still a chance that this could go to 70, Humid. So it's level to level. You can't predict the future. So there's different ways that you could get into this short. Do you want to talk about that, Humid? Humid, if this does a failed auction, I don't want you to be scared of taking it, okay? I don't want you to be like, that's really, really bad, Kimba. Yes, I know. But if it's going to happen today, you should take it. Okay? Your invalidation is right there. On Monday, it could be a different story. We might actually clean that. I also don't want you to be scared of taking that either. Okay? But I think that idea of it's going to clean it on Monday is very retail. Okay? So to be honest, I don't think we would want that if you want to short. So I think you might want to try to figure out if the 382 to the golden pocket is something that you might need to watch, keep your eye on. Anything you want to talk about, Humid? And then what would really help would be if S&P can get below 5480. Getting above VWAP is clearly going to be no bueno for any sort of short attempt. All right, but what do you think though? What do you think though? Yeah, and you know what might help is just do lower leverage. You know, it's really the high leverage trying to, you know, you need to have like pixel perfect bottom or top. That's tough. Lower the position size, lower the leverage, give yourself a little bit of breathing room. You know, the thing is, brother, I bet you're not wrong. You're just putting yourself in a situation where you have to be perfect. And you don't necessarily have to put yourself in a situation like that. If we were like spot trading, right? We would have sold a bunch at 92 all the way through 96, right? And it wouldn't have fucked us. So yeah, that's why you always got to put your stop loss at break even. And just try to protect the capital that you have and just seize the opportunity to re-enter. But that's okay. I'm really trying my best, Humid, to like help you and Lions out. So you're doing fine. You're doing great, brother. Don't beat yourself up unnecessarily. Figure out what you want to change a little bit next week, and let's get after it. Where I lose money is trying to re-enter, then don't try to re-enter, Humid. Don't try to re-enter. Let's just start with some basic things and the things that you know you're not supposed to do. Let's not get cute with it, man. Let's just not re-enter then. Yeah. Stop the music. So what we would be looking for in this pullback, okay? Obviously, I'm bearish. So what I want to see is longs opening right when the longs that are already open are starting to get stopped out. So it's an accelerated cascade. We want that to happen in the next 2 hours. Or fuck, what time is it in New York right now? It's noon already? Fuck. How is it noon already? Yeah, okay, well then maybe it's got to be Monday. I thought it was like 10:30 New York. Ray says, Kimba, may I ask a question? As price kept pumping, it's usual for people to get bullish. Well, idiots. Yeah, but you're supposed to be looking for shorts when it's pumping, and you're looking for longs when you're dumping. That's the whole concept of trading. So... however, you've said that you're bearish for short term. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for so long, Ray. Yeah, I've been saying that I want to short 92, and if that doesn't work, I'll short 96. But higher time frame though, I'm bullish. So let's see if we're gonna go to 80 or 82, or maybe it just, holds 90. I don't know. So it's probably a little bit overextended, and I'll see if it's 90, 92, is it 82, 80, or are we going to actually get that max pain at 70? Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not going to long here. Nobody should try to long here. That's fucking suicide. If anybody wants to long here, I would just tell them that they can give me half of their money. I'll kick him in the balls as hard as I can, and we'll call it a day. And they're still juicing because I'm saving them half the money. But it's the same experience. Stop the music, stop the music, stop the music. Brian 70s man says, thanks, been watching for a long time and finally subscribed, exclamation welcome for Brian. Shout out Brian. Let's go. It's a kachoya. Shout outs to you, Brian 70s man. Let me know if you want to talk about anything. It would blow my mind if we actually go and grab that key level during RTH on a Friday today, right? Still have 3 hours left. Golly. Vamu. What's going on, Vamu? Mad Lettuce, what's going on? Froweed says volume on Sol is higher than BTC on MEXC for second day in a row. May, Froweed. Sol? This shit is Gucci Magucci, dude. I really hope I can get something in here. You know, maybe it's going to be before. You know, all the shit that we kind of talked about. God, I hope. Yeah, this shit is crazy. This doesn't look like the other coins, you know? Yeah, I hope we get this. I hope we get this. Otherwise, you know, it really wouldn't be surprising for it to go all the way up there because, well, that was the long target. Yeah, and then we got to start thinking about these guys and if they're going to get swept. So, show ya, man. Show ya. Let me get one more. Let get Poppy Bugatti get one more. You know what I mean? Is Humid still here? Stop the music for a second. Is my boy Humid still here? It's okay if he's not. It'd be dope if he was. Samurai Pavel, you good? My name, you good? Mad Lettuce, you good? Owner Zara, are you good? 604, are you good? Franz Deep, are you good? RNK, are you good? Ayo Gain says, I wonder if he re-entered. Well, I think how many of y'all were here since the very beginning and like listened to all that shit? Like when I was talking with Homie. How many of you guys were here since the beginning? And so, like, do you guys remember when I told them, hey, look, not financial advice. I know that you're not going to just do it for the sake of copy trading. I know you're going to be looking at data. But, you know, like, it's either you're bearish or you're not, right? And we talked about this. This is Kimba Box Pixel Perfect. You know? So if you did short the 7.5 or you entered through Kimba Box using 1, 2, 3, 4, your average entry is still near the 7.5, right? So you can't lose. You know what I mean? I told him straight up, you don't have to be afraid or require that the highs need to get cleaned. It is what it is. So I wouldn't be afraid to take it. If he did take the 7.5, I mean, holy fuck. Look at the pixel fucking on the 0.5, chat. Can we give it up for the 7.505 bullshit? Can we give it up for the 7.505 bullshit? Can we give it up for the 7.505 bullshit? You gotta trust the math sometimes. Stop making shit up. Stop making shit up. Stop doing you. All right. But, like, hopefully, if he was here and if he was listening to what I was saying, he would again be at pixel perfect top short and he would be in a situation where he can't lose, right? Oh my God, is he not fucking here? How many of y'all, well, it's okay, but how many of y'all are learning exactly what he's also learning as a proxy? What do you guys think about this? So again, you have an opportunity. Are you actually bearish or you don't really know what the fuck going on? Right? And what do you guys think about like not getting got? We are looking to short when it's pumping. We're not fucking longing the top, ladies and gentlemen. But if you were not bearish and I gave you all that shit this morning and you've been watching me this week, like, let's just be honest. If you didn't take a short at this point, you're not bearish. And that's okay. Maybe you're just really, really conservative and you're waiting for Monday, right? Yeah, and you know, look at this pixel fuck 7505, right? So if it really is bullish, bulls, what would it need to do? Bears, what would it need to do? Even better question. Let's say, for example, you are somebody that didn't want to short the 7.5 because you want to sweep the bad high. Okay. Well, don't we have a plan on how to execute and get into the short if we didn't want to short the 7.5? So in essence, we're good, right? Lions, Sizzlack, talk to me. Talk to me, Sizzlack. IAM1 says 1.25. What are you talking about? The golden pocket turning into resistance. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? Now, are you going to just do it because I fucking told you or because you've seen it 100 times like other people? You lose the golden pocket. The golden pocket gets turned into resistance. So right there. And there are scenarios where there isn't even a bearish retest. So you have to make a decision on what you want to do. But hopefully you already knew that if you weren't going to take that 7.5, you were willing to take this. You know what would be nice is you get a high that comes in, a lower high, and then it goes. Then that's your invalidation. This is by the book though. Kachoy. Brother, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, okay? It's not really anything about that. But Triple J, have you been here all week, grinding and hustling with me all week? On a scale of 0 to 10, in terms of did I just do what I thought was right, or did I listen to other people? You know, on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you grade my own preparation and execution? Right or wrong? You know, would you agree with me that preparation is pretty important? And that's really what saves your ass when like the bullets start flying. What about things like managing risk and putting your stop loss at take profit or break even? Because you always have an opportunity to take another trade. You know? And so I don't really care if you guys like me or fucking hate my guts, if you think I'm a fucking dumbass, but I think what we can all agree on is you just got to do you. And you got to know what the fuck you're doing. And that has nothing to do with whether you're in a long or short, whether you're bullish or bearish. All right. And remember, Lions, I'm not just making shit up. All I'm doing is reminding you guys what we've seen together for the last 3 years. All right. I rarely express my personal opinion. I really try to hold back my own personal opinion. You know, I try to only give you guys like objective data, so I don't really fuck anybody up. But what do you guys think? You know, it's a nice Friday because I feel like, you know, we prepared for the short last week. And we sat through that 92.5 bitch, right? Lions? And today on a Friday, you know, still had to lock in. And we're getting the failed auction. We got the swing fail. We got the untapped naked point of control. We got the sweep. You know, even understanding things like, hey, that if it does this, how many of you guys were here? I mean, where the fuck is my boy Humid, man? How many of you guys were here when I told him, hey, don't be afraid to short that now? All right. Hey, TP1 right here. Yes, please shave a little bit. Let's do the right thing. Sounds good. Love you guys, Lions. We doing the damn thing? What do you guys think about this? We mathing or what? We pixel fucking or what, chat? We've been doing this, chat. Sorry, Kimba, I was a hyena earlier in the YouTube, but now I'm a believer. You don't need to believe in me, dude. Fuck that. You need to believe in the math, okay? It's not about being right or wrong. The same guy that says, oh my God, that was amazing, is the same guy that's going to freak out and blame me if it goes wrong. So it's just math, man. Don't look at me if it's going good. Don't look at me if it's going bad. It's just math. All right. How we doing, man? Happy Friday. What a great little chef's kiss final touch to finish out the week, man. We got pixel perfect top on everything, man. What do you think? Boogama Mama says, I love you, Kimba. I love each and every one of you guys, man. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Now, a lot of these things seem anticipatory, right? Boogama Mama, a lot of these things seem anticipatory, right? You know what's crazy is I feel like we just talked about, hey, let's make sure that we're winning with class and losing with class. Let's make sure that we act like we've been here before. This isn't your first juice, am I right, Boogama Mama? Nor is it going to be your last. We juice every fucking day. This is a normality. Preparation, math, patience, discipline, risk management. We do this shit. We've been doing this shit. So it is the weekend. Please make sure you shave a little bit. You have another, you know what this is really, if you're juicing right now? You have another opportunity to seriously think about getting round tripped. Are you really thinking worst case scenario? You know, we spent like 2 days talking about this is at a minimum, you should walk away with this much. Everybody should be thinking, everybody look at their unrealized P&L right now. And everybody think about worst case, how much of that do you want to walk away with? How much sleep did you get last night? How much stress did you go through today? What was your cost to be here to listen and pay attention? Okay. How much is that worth to you? I want everybody to look at no sleep and full of stress. So Monster Fresh, you better have a stop loss and profit where you feel like you have been fairly compensated if it's going to start pumping. You had no sleep, right? You had full of stress, right? You did that for nothing, or you have a bare minimum that you want the market makers to pay you for going through that? So can you really think worst case scenario and prepare that, you know, like even if you're juicing, the tests and the quizzes never stop. Okay, so if we get below 94 thou, if we get below 94.3 on CME, that's where you guys remember what I said about how many longs are open? Zero. You guys remember what I said was the number, and I was like, if they don't close before this number, there's X millions of dollars in longs open on CME. Can I get a hot dog? Now, just because I said that shit and everybody fucking knows it now, it's probably not going to happen. Okay, I probably should have just shut the fuck up. Apologies. But just a heads up in case it still happens, okay? Cut ya, right, P2P? I'll let you know if they close. And you know, and bonus points if you remember, if you heard me say, you know what would be really funny is if X happens when X is happening, and then it would X the move. Exclamation rewind, exclamation YouTube. Talk to me now. Talk to me now. I can tell you now. I'm just saying now, but it is Friday, please. It is Friday, so don't be pulling that. But you just said shit on me. I don't know. I don't know. There's 2 hours left until U.S. market close. Katchoy. Because what you're looking for is CME open interest to go down, meaning the CME longers, they close out break even, right? What happens when you have to close a long? You have to sell, right? So imagine if they're selling into the people, the derivative longers, talking about hidden bull div. You know what it is. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss or have good risk management, especially over the weekend. He said he's going to smack the shit out of you, chat. Nah, you fucked up the timing. Hey, Lions, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody. Kachaya, he reaving.